What's going on, everyone? This is Adam and Craig with Grandstand Golf. In the show, we're talking our PGA DFS picks for the 2020 Houston Open. We'll also be dropping a sleepers video, so make sure to check that out. And finally, we're going to be doing tons of Masters content over the next few days, over the next week, so make sure to subscribe to make sure you don't miss any of that. But first,
and if you don't know what we're talking about, Masters is another golf tournament coming up next week. It's kind of a big one,
right? So. Kind of a big deal. But Craig, we're in Houston, Memorial Park Golf Course. First time hosting this event, or first time in 50
I was going to say,
years.
I'm not actually in Houston, but you look like you might be over there.
I am. I got my bolo tie over here. I've been to Houston before. It's kind of like sister city for where I am right now. So yeah, I dig it.
It looks like first time at this course in 60 years. It's hard to find information on this thing. We don't even know for sure. We have a bit of a disagreement about how long the course is, just because there's different information out there. It looks like it's a par 72, 7,292 yards, but elsewhere you saw something saying 7,400 yards. So, yeah.
I mean, they can shift the tees around, the pins. We all know that. It's going to be 7,300-ish yards around there. But big redesign. So not many people in general have seen it. It just was completed in 2019. Tom Doak, I believe, was the designer, but actually quite a lot of input from Brooks Koepka. I've heard they've removed a bunch of bunkers. They went from something like 50 down to 20 or 30 bunkers. Now there's a lot of kind of short mode areas around the greens for these runoffs.
The shaving areas, And the other thing I had read was that essentially Brooks was saying that fairway bunkers oftentimes aren't a huge penalty, that slopes in the rough off the fairway can be much more penal. So I think they did remove some of them were fairway bunkers. So.
Yeah. The other thing I read, really exciting finish. There's a couple drivable par fours, a couple par fives down the stretch, and then a par three, a short par three, I think, with water involved, probably on our background.
Yeah, I think from what I saw, and there's par five where it is water surrounding the green, so it's a very much a risk reward. But it looked like holes 10 to 12 were difficult, and then 13 to 17 were scoring holes. And then, 18, I think, looked like a long par four. So, it should be really interesting. I'm excited. Cool course, municipal course. So I just think it's going to be a really cool venue this week.
Yeah, I completely agree. Weather looks pretty fine overall for the week. Thursday, Saturday look
maybe
decent,
Sunday
and then
might be some rain and ugliness. But in terms of DFS, I don't think it matters at all.
Doesn't matter at all. It might just make it for an interesting kind of stretch.
But nothing like last week where there was a better wave and nothing to look at like that. Yeah,
exactly. So getting into our picks, my first pick, Tony Finau, 10,900 on DraftKings. He's second there on FanDuel. He's actually 11,500, which is fifth. So if you are playing both sites, perhaps a little bit of a discount on FanDuel. Second tournament back since the COVID-19 diagnosis, but he played great there. He finished T11 at the Zozo. And he seemed to be not quite himself. So I feel like there's better things still to come with Tony. Top 15 or better in 5 of his last 6 tournaments. And I mean, there's just no real weakness in his game. He's positive in every stroke seen category for the last 2 years. I mean, I was looking at more and more stats. He's pretty much top 10, top 20 in everything in the field. No real weakness. He's good. And we kind of talk about, when we talk about these players offline, he just has really good hands. So I think for these areas of the greens, if there are these runoffs, he's really good at going up and down. People think of him as just kind of a long hitter, throwing darts in there, but he can do everything. Yeah. From tee to green, he can do it all.
I think you got to like Finau this week. The matter is, question to me is just whether, do you like the price, and do you want to go above that? And if you do go with Tony, what else do you do with your lineup to me? But I'll definitely have ownership on Tony. But the one thing I'm looking at is if you do want to go higher, I'm pretty okay with that this week. I got over my shoulder here, steaks back on the menu, and as far as I'm concerned, why order the meatloaf when the steak's on the menu?
Oh, I see what you're
Yeah,
doing
we haven't
there.
seen DJ in a little while. He comes in at 11,500 on DraftKings and 12,200 on FanDuel. Obviously, most expensive on both. His game has just been absurd over the past few months. He's got 6 straight top 12 or better, and most of those are very high in the top 12.
Yeah.
He's since the COVID restart, he's got 5 times he's been first or second. It's just been against absurd fields that he's just been out in front of everyone. We were talking about those holes with drivable par fours and par fives that can be reached into. I think there's got to be no one that you like more than DJ to take advantage of those. So to me, it's just pending what kind of shape he's in coming off of the COVID, his COVID experience. I'm going to take the shots with him. I think that it could easily be one of these weeks, sort of like Bryson at Rocket Mortgage, where if you don't have him, then, there's going to be a large amount of people, I think, potentially that do have him. But if you're not part of that group, then you're not going to be winning.
I mean, I just think he has by far and away the best chance to win. I mean, probably by quite a significant margin. He just is that good. And then you take away the JTs, the ROMs, and then he just he's a little bit better than all these other guys. Right?
I mean, it's just, do you want to potentially not have DJ and then find out value elsewhere and hope that he doesn't win? He has the best chance to win. It's just a matter of how you want to build your lineups. And I'm definitely going to have DJ in a lot of them.
Yeah. My next pick, Scottie Scheffler. We're kind of going.
This is like the COVID pick list, I guess.
Well, there's a couple of themes. I was going to go with strokes gained off the tee theme, but Scheffler's 9,600 on DraftKings, 11,300 on FanDuel, pretty similar ranking. But he led the field in strokes gained off the tee at the Zozo. So we've been waiting for a while for him to kind of look like himself, the PGA Tour Rookie of the Year. Since his COVID diagnosis, I think we're seeing it now. And I think when Scottie Scheffler's on his game, he can be as good as anybody in this field, maybe not DJ. But fifth in strokes gained tee to green for the 2019-2020 season. And Craig, I love to pull these facts and figures out. He's a Texas boy. He grew up in Dallas, went to school at University of Texas in Austin. I mean, it's not Houston, but hey, he's been around
Dallas
the area.
And Houston have beef? Like, is this a positive or is this a negative?
Hey, then he wants to go and establish his dominance over there. But I mean, with a course that we don't know, we always talk about the advantage off the tee. If you can get it in the fairway and get it a long ways out, you're going to have a shorter iron into the green that you don't know, and potentially an easier putt. It leads to everything else in the game.
Yeah, I like it. I haven't actually built my lineups yet this week, but I think likely I'm going to end up with Scottie Scheffler in a few of them. Probably will not be able to stack him with DJ, but we'll see. You can get creative.
Yeah, for sure.
My next one here, though, is Russell Henley. And he's been, I think we've been talking about him a little bit lately, both in our regular videos and in our showdowns. He's getting pricier and pricier every week, though. He's up to 9,400 on DraftKings. He's 8th most expensive, and he's 11,200 on FanDuel, which is 7th most expensive. His form is awesome right now. He's top 10 in 4 of his last 6 starts. You look at this in this field. He's 3rd in strokes gained total for the short season we've had thus far. 8th for the full 2020. So that's 8th is right about where he's priced. So if you like his recent form and you think he's going to keep it up, then the long term value is there as well. In previous videos, I've spoken about his elite approach game. The only people who potentially are better, and you can make the argument for Russell Henley, but Justin Thomas, Will Zalatoris, and Colin Morikawa are the only ones on how you want to look at it that are potentially better. So, the other thing about that is I think that with approach stats and proximity stats and those type of things, those kind of guys can get so hot, and when they get hot they can just rattle off scores so quickly that for GPP purposes I love it because they can go out there and win. The one other thing, and this is a little one, he has won in Houston before at the Houston Open, different course. Like we said, it's the first time at this course, so don't take too much away from it. But it's
still positive.
They have same kind of courses in different areas of the world.
It's like winning the Carolinas or winning in California. Like there's correlations you can find. Yeah. I kind of struggle with Henley this week. I feel like his prices just kind of kept creeping up, and it scares me a little bit. But I mean, all the stats he presented there back up his pricing, so it does make sense.
Well, and I think it has gone up because of the recent form. But that's where I'm like, okay, but if you look at his full 2019-2020 season, then that's right where his price should be. So I mean, I agree though. It is more than we've been having to pay for him.
Yeah, exactly. So my third and final pick, Erik van Rooyen, 7,700 on DraftKings, 9,300 on FanDuel, right around 30th for both sites. EVR. He's kind of been one of my favorites for a while. I love tracking him on the European Tour, and he's coming over. He's trying to play more PGA Tour events. He's a volatile player. Since the restart, he has 6 top 30s, but also 4 missed cuts. And it seems like a lot of those missed cuts are in PGA Tour events where they're not especially hard events that he should be missing the cut. But last year, I mean, getting to a larger sample size, he was 10th on the European Tour in strokes gained total. Again, he's long off the tee. He's good off the tee. He's also a good putter, approach around the green. He kind of has everything. And I think with someone like he just shouldn't be priced this low for kind of his ceiling. Yeah, his floor can fall out sometimes, but his ceiling is super high. And I think new course, it's kind of an equalizer for a new PGA Tour member. I mean, we don't have guys that have played it 4, 5, 10 times. Everyone's going out there for the first time. And he's played all over the world. He can adapt.
Yeah, except maybe Brooks, who helped design it. But besides that, it should be pretty easy. I think with EVR too, you're not getting any kind of ownership or price bump based on splashy recency. And so to me, that can be a bit of an advantage because you get leverage on the field if you're willing to take risks on guys before they really are. If they top 10 the week before, you're not gonna be the only one on them. One guy who's sort of like that for me is Cameron Davis. We have seen him flash a bit. He's coming in at 8,100 on DraftKings, 9,800 on FanDuel. So just below the average price that you can put your lineup together with on both sites. He's got 7 straight cuts made, but in those he only has 1 top 10. And I went back and I looked through his rounds, and he most of those tournaments he's had super low rounds, but it's just a matter of putting them all together throughout. The thing is, this guy's a young guy. We've spoken before about how good of a ball striker he is. His stats right now, he's over a stroke gained for this young season we have here. But even based on he's progressing each year, and I don't think he's going to keep up 1.2 strokes gained on the year. But even if it's better, even if it's slightly better than where he was last year, I think he's going to contend in tournaments like this. And then the other one last thing I want to make, after Patrick Cantlay won, what was it, Zozo? He was talking about how he really had felt like he was starting to play well. It was just a matter of getting 4 rounds together in a tournament. And to me, that's a little bit where Cam Davis is. We've definitely seen him have good rounds. And if you don't quite trust him to get through the whole tournament, that's okay. Throw him in some showdown lineups. But I think before long, we're going to see him have one of those tournaments where it all is put together for the whole week.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's a matter of when and not if he kind of gets that first PGA Tour win. I think I've talked about in the past. He has piles of wins back in Australia.
Well, that's why I chose this picture of him holding a trophy so that you would know that.
Clearly he's a winner. I love his game. I love his swing. I love his swing right-handed. I love his swing left-handed. I'm going to be playing Cameron Davis. I just have a soft spot for him. He's clearly taking the profile I'm building for my lineups.
and it's upside. He has the upside to win this tournament, which to me that's a huge factor in GPPs.
100%. Yeah. Oh, okay. Quickly recapping / doing our fades. I got Tony Finau, 10,900. Scottie Scheffler. Oh,
6,900. That's
I
a good
believe this is
deal.
that is a good deal. He's
A little bit
96.
of number dyslexia there.
A little bit of number dyslexia. Scottie Scheffler, 9,600. EVR, 7,700. So my fade, uh, kind of a guy that you like quite a bit sometimes. Adam Scott, 9,200. So I was just kind of looking at Scott and why. So 9,200, he's 10th price in the field, but he doesn't have a top 20 since the restart.
Well, how many
He hasn't
tournaments
cracked
has he played?
top. Well, not that many, but that doesn't
Yeah,
help.
no,
or hurt
I hear
him.
you.
I mean,
I'm okay with the
it,
fade. I haven't looked into him enough yet to know whether or not I'll put him in anything. But he is, to me, like the one thing that's always dangerous about him is that he can show up without having played. Like it's that savvy vet. You can show up without having played,
yeah,
and you can have form. But it's just a wild card.
yeah. But I do actually like that he's playing here for the
Me too.
Masters. I think having that tune-up is actually going to help him, and maybe that means he's not going
He's
out
not
to win a
super
Houston Open.
invested in this. He's more
Go
like making sure he's working on
ex-
the things he wants to work on. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So just summarizing mine real quick, and I realize I got a misprice here because Brooks is definitely not more expensive than DJ. But so Dustin Johnson comes in at 11.5 on DraftKings. Russell Henley's 9,400. Cam Davis is 8,100. And I believe Brooks is actually 10,600. And he is
10,600.
my
That's right. Yeah.
fade this week. And
That's
it's not that I mean, I think Brooks is still being priced based a little bit on the fact that he has an absurd major championship history.
yeah.
And in I think he's going to get a lot of looks this week because of the whole fact he was involved with the redesign.
His hands are all over this course, Craig. He sculpted this.
But you still have to
Come
be able
on,
to
man.
go out there and golf. You know, if it
Yeah.
was just the case you had to be a
Yeah.
good designer and design a course, then why isn't Tom Doak out there, wouldn't you? But anyways, yeah. So I think he's going to get looks for the wrong reasons this week. I don't love his recent form. I just think there's still so many question marks that to me he's a fade. I'd rather have Finau at 10.9. I'd rather have some of those other guys up there.
Yep. No, I hear you. I completely agree. I think it is kind of interesting with him just having a hand in the course design. I don't think if people knew that news, his ownership might be quite low. But I agree. I like that fade. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We will also be releasing our sleepers video, so make sure to check that out. And then every Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, Craig and I do a full DFS breakdown on Twitch. So make sure to come join us then, ask some questions. We had some great tips this past week. We were talking Wyndham Clark. We were talking Ollie Schneiderjan.
And actually on that note, so Cam Davis, there's a bunch of guys that I like down at that lower, low 8 range, I want to say. Those basically we go through everything on that Wednesday night one. So if you guys want to come hang out and chat about it, just feel free to stop by.
All right, good luck, everyone. Take
see you
care.
guys next time. Thanks.